When I think of American landmarks, the Grand Canyon is probably the second or third one that comes to mind. It is just, I really want to go see it. I want to go see it. From the pictures, it is just enormous. It's so big. And I think that when I actually get there, it like pictures won't do it justice. But I've always wondered, how did the Grand Canyon get there? What is it? Is it like, is it a meteor that hit and created that massive hole? Is it, I don't know, a river maybe that cut that part of, the canyon into the land? And there's got to be a bunch of other things that aren't really made public unless you really go there, research it, like secrets, basically. And I'm really curious. I want to know.
Hi, it's Katrina. Number 10, ghosts underground. The Grand Canyon is full of caves. Thousands of feet below the rim of the canyon are the Grand Canyon Caverns. Legend says that this collection of creepy subterranean passages and chambers are teeming with ghosts. At least 8 people have died within these caverns over the last half-century.
Oh, wow.
There have also been unexplained paranormal sightings and strange activities witnessed by employees and guests. One particular man has been seen multiple times and is said to be the ghost of Walter Peck. He's usually seen around the elevator shaft, both at the top and the bottom. The son of the former owner supposedly hung himself at the top of the mines, and a tour guide also lost his life right at the entrance.
Oh my God.
Native Americans also once used the caverns as a burial site. It was filled with the bones of the dead, and these days people report hearing whispers and murmurs of spirits in the caverns as they travel through in the dark.
Ugh.
Some overnight guests in the cavern have even claimed to see the shadows of dancing Native Americans against the rock walls and to hear distant chanting. Just a few years ago, to see how many ghosts are really down in these caves, business manager Mike Cadletts hired the Orange County Ghosts and Legends Paranormal team to investigate. The ghost hunters brought in special equipment to see if they could capture evidence of ghostly activity. Apparently, one of them got some rocks thrown at him. Number 9.
How long has the Grand Canyon been there? Like, we must be talking thousands of years, or is it even older than that? Is it like tens of thousands? How long are we talking?
The giants of the canyon. There is supposedly an underground city hiding beneath the Grand Canyon that was once home to giants. There was an article published on April 5th, 1909 in the Arizona Gazette. The article explained that a man by the name of Kincaid came across an entrance into a subterranean world while he was boating in the Grand Canyon. The discovery was so unbelievable that allegedly the Smithsonian Institution even helped fund his excavations. Researchers discovered an entire city accessible only by a single tunnel, and it went over 4,000 feet underground.
That is crazy.
What was really bizarre was that the entrance to the tunnel was halfway up the canyon wall, nearly impossible to get to and really easy to miss.
Halfway up the canyon wall, so maybe the depth of the Grand Canyon has sunken a lot. Maybe the bottom used to be a lot higher so that the entrance to this city was ground level maybe.
Inside the supposed lost city, there were hieroglyphic characters on the walls that the researchers took for ancient Egyptian. They discovered mummified bodies of giants wrapped in dark linens and countless artifacts.
Really?
Unfortunately for all of us, none of the researchers took any pictures, and none of the artifacts are still around. The Smithsonian Institution denies any such place exists, and nobody has any clue if it's actually there, since nobody knows where to look for it.
Someone needs to go back and try and find this thing. I mean, surely there must have been teams over the years that have gone back to find it.
8. UFOs over the canyon. On June 27, 2020, something strange was seen hovering over the southern rim of the Grand Canyon. According to professionals, it's not even that out of the ordinary. The Grand Canyon is a UFO hotspot, with a staggering number of UFO sightings every year. What made this particular sighting different was that it was filmed, and there is no disputing the raw footage and what was captured in it. The video shows what appears to be a white orb or a white disc floating over the canyon with a dark center, hovering way up in the air. Alien enthusiasts say that whatever this thing was, it was piloted by an alien sent to the planet to observe human beings. That's a pretty outrageous claim with absolutely no evidence.
I don't know.
So there's no way to possibly know if it's true or false.
I mean, so many people claim they've seen UFOs and alien spaceships and stuff, but it might have just been like the US military testing out a new plane, or something like that.
What we do know is that something was most certainly floating over the skies of Arizona, winding over the Grand Canyon as if on some kind of intergalactic tour. And to make matters even more legitimate, it wasn't only the person filming who saw the phenomenon. It happened at about 7:30 at night, and there were over a dozen tourists watching the bright and mysterious object as it made its way slowly and carefully over the Grand Canyon for over 30 minutes.
Really?
Number 7.
Do we have video though? Like, do we have any like footage of this? Because if we could all see it, it'd be a lot more like, okay, this is a legit UFO. But when it's just like people, their testimony, it's hard to trust them, isn't it?
The Tusayan Ruins. The Tusayan Ruins is the only official ancient archaeological site anywhere in Grand Canyon National Park. It's considered to be one of the most important archaeological places in Arizona, according to the National Park Service, and has a history dating back nearly 1,000 years.
Wow.
These mysterious ruins were once part of a large settlement of ancestral Puebloans. All that's left today is a small living area, the remains of storage rooms, a kiva, and the leftover stones that had once made up the walls. We know, based on studies of the tree rings from wood found here, that the place was occupied for no more than 20 years.
So not a long
starting
time.
in the year 1185.
Wow.
The first excavations here were done in the 30s, with later preservation work happening in the 40s and 60s. The Tusayan ruins were put on the National Register of Historic Places in 1974. But even after so many years of research, we still don't really know much about the place. It was obviously some kind of home, but we don't know how many people lived here, if there were more structures like it, or why it was only occupied for 20 years and then abandoned.
Something must have
The
happened.
whole place is a mystery.
Could you imagine what it must have been like to be alive in 1185, so almost 1,000 years ago? No electricity, no running water, no cars, no refrigerators. I mean, no internet, obviously, just a different experience. No medicine, or at least modern medicine. Like, the life expectancy must have been like 30 or something, 40 maybe.
6. Fossil footprints. At Grand Canyon National Park, researchers have found dinosaur footprints. These dinosaurs have been extinct for about 313 million years, but their footprints are still here in the canyon. Paleontologists came across fossil tracks following part of a cliff collapsing at the canyon, and it was totally by accident. It was 2016 when Norwegian geology professor Alan Krill was out hiking with his students. A cliff had collapsed, and lying right next to the trail, in obvious view of anyone passing by, there was a boulder. Imprinted on the boulder were the prints of a mysterious dinosaur. These tracks turned out to be very significant. After a lot of investigation by a lot of different scientists, the tracks have been confirmed as some of the oldest prints left behind by any shelled animal that laid eggs, like a reptile. It's also the earliest evidence ever of such an animal walking across sand dunes. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly what kind of dinosaurs left these tracks behind. They appear to represent two separate animals moving across the slope of the sand dune. And while scientists can tell from their gait that they were short, reptile-like creatures close to the ground, they just don't know exactly what kind. And now for number 5. But first, I want to say a big...
Do we have any like dinosaur DNA? Like, have we ever found any sort of DNA that we could use to like bring back a dinosaur? Like, Jurassic Park style. Like, how amazing would it be to see a dinosaur in real life? It would probably be one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. Like, it would just be so cool, wouldn't it? Like, could we do it? Like, I'm sure, because we're bringing back the woolly mammoth. I think there's a company that's really close to bringing back the woolly mammoth. So if we had some DNA, we could probably bring back a dinosaur, couldn't we?
Thank you to I Am Son Goku and Kay Kennedy. Thanks so much for watching and supporting Origins Explained. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe and join the family. Number 5. The Havasupai. What a lot of people don't realize about the Grand Canyon is that it is still home to a Native American tribe living within its borders.
Really?
They're called the Havasupai, and they've been living in the Grand Canyon and throughout Arizona for over 1,000 years. Their name translates to people of the blue-green water, and one trip to the Grand Canyon makes it pretty easy to see why. They named themselves after the sparkling green and blue waters that travel down the bottom of the canyon. We don't know exactly where they originated from, but by around the year 1000, the Havasupai had made the Grand Canyon their home. In the following centuries, they learned how to irrigate the land to farm during the summertime and spent their winters hunting along the plateaus, which had once been full of wild game.
Man.
In 2021,
Must have been like quite cold though, and harsh, because what animals are native to that, the Grand Canyon? Like, what animals do you find there? Like maybe goats, mountain goats, maybe? Mountain lions, maybe?
their chairwoman, Evangeline Kissoon, published an article explaining how for generations they have been fighting to protect the Grand Canyon from uranium mining. Havasu Creek is a beautiful place, but it's also part of the tribe's identity, which is directly intertwined with the health of the creek. The tribe only has around 750 members left, and there is a uranium mine near Red Butte. This mountain is sacred to the tribe and is the home of the Havasupai Tribe creation story. In the 1870s, Europeans flooded the Arizona Territory, and the U.S. government began forcing tribes, including the Havasupai, to small reservations. In this case, the tribe was restricted to live on just 518 acres in Havasu Canyon. Then, when the Grand Canyon was turned into a national park in 1919, the tribe was pushed to the brink. For years, the tribe lobbied the U.S. government to return some of their ancestral lands. And in 1975, President Gerald Ford returned almost 190,000 acres to them.
Good job, Gerald Ford.
Adding to the reservation. The capital of the reservation, called Supai, is considered the most remote community in the United States. Number 4.
Wow.
The Great Unconformity. The Great Unconformity has been bothering geologists for the past 150 years.
Can you hike down to the base of the Grand Canyon, or are you restricted to like the edge of it? Like, because and how long would it take to get down to the base? It's got to be like hours and hours and hours, right? You probably need to wear like hiking gear. You can't just like walk down. You probably need to like wear specialized gear, right? It's probably quite a big undertaking.
It has to do with layers of sediment, and specifically one layer of sediment that appears to be missing. The phenomenon was first noticed by a man named John Wesley Powell in 1869 as he was traveling through the bottom of the Grand Canyon. He realized there was a section of rock missing from the record. Each layer of sediment in the Grand Canyon acts like a ring on a tree, representing a certain period of time. At the very bottom of the canyon, you can visibly see where the layer of Paleozoic Tapete sandstone sits directly on the Proterozoic Vishnu schist, obviously. This is apparently a pretty big deal, because the upper layer is 500 million years old, and the lower layer is about 1.8 billion years old.
1.8 billion years old. Wow. So the Grand Canyon is legit probably older than the dinosaurs. Okay. Wow. That answers my question for me. It is so old.
What this means is that there is a gap in the rock record of 1 billion years. So where is that missing rock? There really should be another layer of rock connecting the other two, but there isn't. This mysterious layer is gone, and with it 1 billion years of Earth's history.
Oh my God.
It isn't just in the Grand Canyon either. It's all over the globe. The only thing scientists can think of is that it had something to do with the breakup of the supercontinent Rodinia. When the continent broke apart almost 2 billion years ago, it erased the geological record. Either that, or something so mysterious is going on here that scientists can't even imagine. Number 3. The Mogollon.
Because, yeah, all that rock wouldn't just vanish, would it? Like people back then, if there were people, there probably weren't people, humans or Neanderthals. They couldn't just move that rock somewhere else. So where is it then? Where is it?
Mogollon Monster. The Mogollon Monster is a cryptid which supposedly
That's a gorilla. That's a silverback.
stalks the dark paths of the Grand Canyon and the lonely dirt roads after the sun goes down. Local legends say that those who are stuck hiking in the night along the edges of the canyon or exploring the winding trails are in danger of being ripped apart by this mysterious beast. The monster is kind of like the Sasquatch. Huge, hairy, vicious, and elusive. People have reported hearing blood-curdling screams in the middle of the night that couldn't possibly belong to any animals or a person. They've been hearing this kind of thing and even seeing the huge shadow of this supernatural creature since at least 1903. The first recorded mention of the Mogollon Monster was from a man named I.W. Stevens, who told Williams News he had seen a man with fingers like talons, a coat of gray hair covering his entire body, and patches of dirty skin. He said the creature had green eyes and its face looked like it had been burnt to a crisp by the sun. Stevens also said that the creature wielded a club like a caveman and only left because he fired his gun and scared the thing away. There have been other reports since then, and people have really run with the idea, especially in the 60s and 70s. As recently as 2014, the Mogollon Monster is still being sighted near the Grand Canyon.
It could just be a person, though, like a person who's like, you know, wants to leave society, wants to live in the wilderness. He's gotten a bit, you know, hairy. He hasn't cut his hair in 5 years. Maybe he's a big fella. I love how we always create these like monsters, like the Sasquatch, the Loch Ness Monster, now this one. Like, there's always like an unknown monster who's roaming the woods somewhere.
2. The Underground Suite. The Grand Canyon is home to one of the biggest, oldest, and most unusual motel rooms anywhere on the planet. There is a secret that not too many people know about, and it has to do with former President John Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1961. Back then, when it looked like the Soviet Union was really about to nuke America, the president decided to create a safe place. It was somewhere people could be evacuated to if the bombs really started to fall. This safe space was in the Grand Canyon, way down in the caverns. It was agreed that enough food and supplies would be moved down into the caves to support 2,000 people for a month.
Wow.
This would hardly protect all of the Americans, but the rich and the powerful would be safe and sound for 30 days.
This is like the story. Have you guys heard of that show on Disney Plus called Paradise? Basically, great show, by the way, if you've not seen it. Basically, it's this. There's a nuclear war, and they build like an underground city under I don't think it's the Grand Canyon, but it's somewhere, you know, like with a massive underground cavern. Check it out. But yeah, could you imagine living underground, no sunlight ever? Don't know if that would be good for you.
The bombs never fell. The site became a tourist spot, and all that's really left now is a single room 220 feet below the ground.
Wow.
The emergency rations are still stored down there, still fresh because of the dry climate in the cave. The motel room has a TV, although good luck getting your favorite channel. It also has a small library, running water supplied by the natural water in the caves, and is totally free of any pests.
Dude, I would stay here for a weekend. Wouldn't you? Just to detach? How cool would that be?
You can spend the night there, although you might want to keep in mind the room is 65 million years old and will cost you over $1,000 a night.
$1,000 a night. I mean, to be fair, if you stay there with another person, split it, $500 each. It's expensive, but it's not too bad.
Number 1, the Forbidden Zone. If you were to go on Google Maps right now and start zooming in on random places in the Grand Canyon, you might be in for a surprise. The peaks and summits throughout the Grand Canyon have names like you wouldn't expect. There are geological formations with names like Osiris, Shiva Temple, and Horus Temple. There are places called Haunted Canyon and Trinity Creek, and the Tower of Ra. It's a lot of stuff named after deities and legendary figures from Egypt and India. But where did these strange names come from? It's totally bizarre, and researchers believe it probably happened even before the 1909 article discussing the secret underground city of giants. Most of these monuments and geological features were probably named during the first government-funded passage through the Grand Canyon in 1869. This was the Powell Geographic Expedition, led by General John Wesley Powell. Powell was the very first director of the Smithsonian Bureau of Ethnology, and was even one of the founding members of the National Geographic Society. This was the guy who gave the formations their names, but nobody has any idea why. Was he inspired by something he had read in a book? By his own fascination for the histories of India and Egypt? Or was he in on something bigger? Was Powell aware of some kind of cultural influence the Egyptians may have had on an ancient society in the Grand Canyon? Unfortunately, we just don't know the truth, and we'll probably never know, especially considering many of these places are hidden inside the official Forbidden Zone, a place within the Grand Canyon National Park where normal citizens aren't allowed to go.
Man.
Thanks for watching.
I have to say, a few of these really piqued my interest. The hidden city, the one where there's a gate somewhere, like a hole somewhere, and it's if you go in, you see that hidden city. I believe that because the Grand Canyon is just so big, right? It's so old that it wouldn't surprise me if people used to live, which they still do with the Native American community that live there. But it wouldn't surprise me if throughout the years, throughout history, you know, maybe a group carved out a city like into the canyon itself. I believe it. The things that you might be able to find in there. Didn't they say there was like a wall of hieroglyphics and stuff like that? So I wonder, like, we must have sent loads of teams to look and survey and investigate, and have they not found it? Maybe have they searched all of it? Because it's, you know, again, the Grand Canyon is so huge that is it possible for one team to spend, how long would they need to spend? They probably need to spend like a year, right, to search for such a city in the canyon. And the UFO sightings as well, like, you know, even if, let's say, 99% of the people that, you know, say they saw a UFO really saw like a plane or something, like an experimental military plane, if 1% are true, that means that UFOs have visited Earth. You know, there could be something to that. Oh, man, this has really piqued my interest. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and check out the video I'm going to link right below this one. See you there.